Good morning. Welcome to Mornings with Luann and Tim. Thanks so much for joining us this Tuesday morning. We are setting you up to have an awesome day today. Thank you to KC Security for sponsoring the show every single morning. We appreciate it, you guys. How are you this morning, sir?
I'm very well. It is World Wildlife Day, Luann, today. And the theme this year is sustaining all life on Earth.
I like that.
Pretty fitting for what's going on in the world right now. From global warming and forest fires and storms and viruses and
it's just scary.
Time for us to focus on biodiversity.
Well, you know what? Take care of what we have while we have it.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
I mean, because you never know. Like that.
Just like that. And
I think of those poor animals in Australia.
Billions.
Billions. I can't even wrap my head around that.
We're losing species.
We are.
Species are vanishing from the face of the earth on our watch. So let's do better.
Let's do better.
Let's not all be like Mr. Trump.
No, let's not.
Did you happen to see the little conference he had the other day, sitting around a table talking with the healthcare professionals? And he said, so this vaccine, couldn't the flu vaccine, if you get the flu vaccine, isn't that going to help you not get coronavirus? What? And you can actually hear a silence and a pause, and then one of the scientists saying, no. Oh, okay. It's got to be a different thing then.
Oh my word!
And then also this. So the vaccine, it's gonna help prevent it, and also if you have it, help you get better faster.
I'm glad I'm Canadian. I'm glad I'm Canadian.
Are you glad you're an Ontarian? Did you see Doug Ford's press conference?
Oh, did he get nailed again? He got pretty nasty, too.
Yeah, a little hissy fit.
A reporter there, he was actually, Rob Ford was there with a couple of different announcements, and a reporter brought up Plategate. You know, the plates on all of our vehicles that nobody can see.
And I believe that the reason the reporter brought it up was because no one's had a chance to actually address Premier Ford directly about Plategate, because he's been hiding. So go on.
As he does.
Can you describe the events there?
So while he's talking, the reporter throws the question out to him. And Ford just looks at him and he just thinks, are you serious? Are you kidding me right now? Is this what you want to talk about? So the reporter...
I've got all these great announcements going on, and First Nations, Indigenous, and money, and you want to... Okay.
So then he says to the reporter, you know what? I've already answered that question. No, it will not cost any Ontarians any money out of pocket to get the new plates done.
I never heard that. Did you hear that?
Yes, I did.
Oh. I mean, I never heard that before.
Oh, no. That was the first time. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But that's because the reporter, in spite of his nasty attitude, came back to him and said, well, who's paying for all of the changes?
That's what I haven't heard yet. Is there an answer?
And that's when he said, taxpayers will have no cost. We have made an agreement with 3M that we're not going to discuss.
That the reporter then said, why? So why was there what is it? A do not whatever
disclose,
you can't talk about.
Non-disclosure.
Non-disclosure.
Thank you, Michael.
Yeah.
He said, so why is there a non-disclosure? I mean, this is the public's money. Why is there... Well, Ford was not happy with this fella.
He didn't like being cornered. He got...
But you know what? It ticks me off because we're paying for this, and the reporter is asking him...
On our behalf,
a question that needs to be asked of our government. Why is he just so... having a mental breakdown over it like he's 2 years old? You know what, Donald? Go sit in the corner and take a deep breath.
Yes.
And while you're there, call a teacher or something.
He's just full of...
But I made so many good announcements, you know.
Yeah. Okay, it's on a brighter side of things.
Yes.
It's also, I want you to be happy day.
Oh,
nice. Yeah, that was just created by people who want you to buy gift cards, by the way, just so you know. Totally, that was a made-up holiday. Go out and buy somebody a card. That's what that's about. However, I think that I want you to be happy day would be a great day to break up with somebody. I'm leaving you because I'm not good enough for you and I want you to be happy. Wouldn't that be a nice spin on it?
Wow, look at you.
Clever.
Seems
Use it
to
to
me
your
like
advantage.
that just came right out of your head, didn't it?
It's the first thing I thought of when I thought I wanted to be happy today. No, we're not friends anymore because I want you to be happy. And I don't think I'm good enough for you.
Wow.
It's a good one, right?
Brilliant.
I know, I'm clever that way.
I want to be happy, Dave. So I'm getting away from you because I hate you. I want you to be happy.
How can I miss you if you won't go away? If pets had thumbs day, now that's a fun one.
If pets had thumbs, some cats do, no?
Cats do?
Yeah, Laura brought in a cat who had...
Those are six. Yes, there's a word for that. I forget what that's called.
Polysaturated.
Polyponus.
Polyunsaturated.
Oh, that's a good joke. Why did the parrot wear a raincoat?
Why?
Because she wanted to be polyunsaturated. Anyway, no, it would be a fun thing to stop. Just for, if you want a little chuckle today, just use your imagination and watch your animals around the house and imagine if they had a thumb, the things they could do. That could just,
right?
And I say that because I want you to be happy.
I want you to be happy. That's why we wake up in the middle of the night, because we want you to be happy.
Okay.
You know what? I want Ryan Reynolds to be happy.
I want Ryan Reynolds, period.
He is so handsome and he's so nice.
Funny
so
joke.
Apparently on Twitter, he profusely thanked a global anchor who works out of Edmonton, because this anchor apparently went to the Alberta legislature and he got a picture from a security guard, a black and white picture, and in the picture it's a group of men of the legislature, and in the picture is a shot of Ryan Reynolds' grandfather, Chester. So he posted it and he said, Ryan, I hope you enjoy this. This is a pic of your grandfather. Ryan was beside himself.
Was Chester Reynolds a politician?
Yes, he was a provincial politician as a career. That's what he did.
Never knew that.
Yeah, me neither. So Ryan Reynolds responded quickly and said, you know what? I have pictures of my grandfather, but none when he was this young. I so appreciate it. Thank you so much. And then he said, sometimes Twitter isn't a giant swimming pool filled with digital rabies. He just wanted you to be happy. Isn't that lovely, though? What a great idea. That's so nice.
So his grandfather was a famous politician.
Yeah, he was a provincial politician for like his whole career.
I knew somebody whose grandfather was, I can't remember if it was Banting or Best. I think it was Lisa Banting as an actress, and I worked with her, and her grandfather was is it Charles Banting? Was that his name? No, Charles Best. Frederick Banting and Charles Best. I mentioned that because in 1921, on this date, it was when they discovered insulin.
Oh, wow.
Toronto researchers at U of T. Did you know that insulin was discovered by Canadians?
I did.
Yes, it was.
I thought it was a French person, though.
No, Banting and Best. Under John McLeod, he was the guy at U of T, I guess, who was working with the researchers. So it was his program under which they developed it. And there was an assistant named James Collop. But so it was at Banting and McLeod won the Nobel Prize in 1923 for the discovery of insulin. Isn't that
Who
something?
am I thinking of?
Are you thinking of Madame Curie, who invented...
No. A man.
French-Canadian man who did something?
Yes, I thought he was the inventor of insulin. That's interesting. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, and I worked with his granddaughter.
My goodness, you are so worldly, I can't even stand it.
On A Midsummer Night's Dream in Sudbury when I played Puck, and I give you that information because coming up very soon, I did a Skype interview with a guy who's doing a production of Midsummer Night's Dream from the American Shakespeare Center, and they're touring, and they're going to be at LSSU doing their version of Yes, that's an interview to watch for on the show. It was a great Skype interview. They were in Texarkana, Texas. Puck? Yeah, the little mischievous fairy.
Oh.
Typecasting.
Mischievous fairy.
On this date in 1991, remember this one? Rodney King.
Beaten up so badly?
Dragged out of a car.
Oh, gosh.
They caught it on video. This was one of the first examples of people with home videos catching stuff. They beat him on the ground, police officers.
Kicking him and, just awful.
Yeah, he was just a motorist. They pulled him out of his car. That's it. And then later, when they had the trial and the cops were acquitted, it caused mass riots in L.A. Remember the Rodney King riots?
And then a white truck driver was pulled out of his vehicle and beaten up too. Like he had long hair and they were dragging him by his hair. It was
man.
horrible.
That was 1991.
We just want you to be happy. I mean, come on. Stop beating each other up. You don't need to do that every single day.
I watched The Voice last night.
Did you? How was it?
Well, it was okay. But the funniest part was there was this guy named Cam Betts, okay? So Cam comes on the show and he announces, and he gets like did he get a 4-chair turn? I think he might have gotten a 4-chair turn. No, maybe not. Anyway, a couple people turned around for him, but so they get to talk to him, right? And he announces that tomorrow, which was today, now I guess whenever they're filming, was his birthday.
Oh.
Wouldn't be today because they filmed that in advance. But anyway, he said, tomorrow's my birthday. So Kelly Clarkson says, oh, what? And John Legend had turned his chair around to try to get this guy.
Right.
And they turned their chair. And so Kelly says, well, let's sing happy birthday to the whole audience. Let's sing happy birthday. And they start singing happy birthday. And they get to the happy birthday, dear. And it occurred to them that none of them remembered his name.
Oh, no.
The one person remembered his name was Jonas.
Nick Jonas.
Nick Jonas was the one of the 4 celebrities, but there's John Legend who turned his chair for the guy and couldn't remember his name. Kelly Clarkson peed her pants.
That
was the worst happy birthday ever. It was so because literally the whole thing went, happy birthday, dear. And the whole studio audience.
For a second, he was thinking, look at all these famous singers singing for me.
And then they got the camera and the guy's like, yeah. Anyway, I thought that was pretty funny.
Well, I hope he wins then.
We were talking about Bieber yesterday.
Yes.
He appeared on Ellen.
Oh, yes.
So guess what his favorite body part is? It's not the one we mentioned yesterday.
No, not the one you mentioned yesterday.
His butt.
Oh, he likes his butt.
He says he has a nice little hockey butt because he played hockey all of his life.
He does.
He also shaved his mustache off.
Yes, because his wife doesn't like it.
Haley didn't like it. What annoys his wife the most? That he sings around the house constantly.
Oh, really?
He says, well, she doesn't really complain, but I think it gets to be too much. And their nicknames for each other are Goo Goo.
Oh, Goo Goo.
That's so sweet. I'm getting a cavity. Speaking of sweet, on the show today, some of the cast members and the director from Willy Wonka are here.
Oh,
Willy Wonka,
I saw
the stage musical. Willy Wonka.
Did they bring chocolate?
I don't know. Let's find out. Yeah. And then also, Karen Bird is here and Rory Ring from the Chamber of Commerce. It's the Women in Business brunch. Breakfast, yeah, coming up. So that's all on the show this morning. Plus, my friend Luann here, she's got some news for you. So don't go anywhere on this Tuesday morning, Sault Ste. Marie. We'll be right back after this.
It's me, Vito. Imbecile, your brother. Listen, you bring 10 gallons of flat eggshell or white paint.
Last year we've been celebrating our 65th anniversary, dating back to services originating in our community in 1954, which is quite some time ago. It's been a great opportunity this past year to recognize the pioneers, the stakeholders that worked tirelessly to create what we are today. I'm grateful for everything that the families 65 years ago and the people that assembled the organization have done in order for us to achieve the success that we're experiencing 65 years later.
In your home, lighting is just as important as style.
With PowerView Motorization from Hunter Douglas, you can schedule your shades to light up the room, create privacy, or both, automatically. No hands required.
So your shades will always be in the right place at the right time in style. And it's only from Hunter Douglas.
This is ONNtv.
Welcome back to Mornings with Luann and Tim. This is your first time on the show, right, Karen?
It is.
This is Karen Bird, last year's Athena winner. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Hi, Rory. Nice to see you again. Congratulations on the Chamber of Commerce Awards on Saturday night. Great success.
Fantastic.
You were there?
I was there.
Did you have your hair all done
I
up?
did. I had very big hair.
You did. I remember you looked well.
Thank you.
Well, you know what they say, the higher the hair, the closer to God.
There you We all cleaned up pretty good that night, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
Yeah. So what were you there representing?
I'm part of the chamber board.
You are, okay.
And I also did the land acknowledgement.
Oh, that was lovely.
Yeah.
Rory, so
Yes, sir.
we're here today because there's a big day coming up on Sunday.
Friday is our
Sunday is the actual celebration
day for
of
International Women's Day.
International Women's Day.
Yeah, so we're doing our business breakfast on the Friday at the Water Tower Inn. We're sold out completely, which
Are
is
you?
great. So 260 people, 256 women and 4 men. And we should say,
lucky
so
men.
the 4 smartest men in Sault Ste. Marie.
Because they got their tickets
They're
early.
supporting women in business, and that's what the Athena Award is all about. That's what International Women's Day is all about. So we're celebrating that on Friday.
You've been a woman in business now for, I don't want to put an age on you, but it's been a couple of decades.
A couple,
Has it been?
yeah.
Yeah. A little background. Originally from where, Karen?
Originally from Batchewana First Nation, so
Okay.
a local girl. Went away to university in Peterborough. Trent
You went to
University.
Trent, yeah.
Worked in Southern Ontario for a while and moved home in 2001.
You worked in finance down in Southern
Yes,
Ontario?
Yeah, always been in the finance industry.
Your
yeah.
whole life.
Yeah.
And you're currently where?
At RBC Dominion Securities.
Been about 15 years or so there?
In total with RBC, yeah.
Fantastic.
That's a good memory.
Yeah, thank you. So the Athena Award that last year, you were nominated the year before, and then you won last year.
Correct.
Do you know when you're nominated? Do they tell you you've been
They
nominated?
do tell you. You do know. You have to work on the package. So
You actually have to.
Yes.
Boy, one of those awards. It's almost like when you get nominated for an Academy Award, you got to market yourself, right?
Oh,
To
it
get
is
the
absolutely.
votes.
It's it's not a popularity contest. It really, somebody will nominate you, but they may not know the full scope of your contribution or your history, and that's why we asked the nominee to fill out the package. And it's pretty significant. There's letters of support, and obviously a history of things that they've done to advance other women in the business community or support the community as a whole in the advancement of volunteerism and just leadership. So, and it also, the Athena Award is also an award that can be given to a man that has supported and advocated
Now that I
on
never knew.
diversity. and
Has
women's
that
rights.
happened in the past? Are you familiar?
We have not seen it here, no, but it has happened. It's a global award.
It is.
So it is.
That was my next question. Was tell me a
yes.
little bit about the history of the Athena Award, and I think you can take that one. I mean, you're a recipient, so you must know something about it. And Rory, you went,
Yeah, obviously, I'll just take it right off the website. The very first International Women's Day was in 1911, and if you can imagine the circumstances in
Did
those
they even
days,
have the vote yet?
Well, I would say most likely probably not. So, and that's,
seriously, that's pretty progressive for 1911.
Oh, it is, absolutely. And if you can think in those days that the whole notion is around collective action and shared responsibility for driving gender balance, right? And
Holy
when we
smokes.
look at as a Chamber of Commerce and the need for better decision making in a business model, diversity is the solution to that, right?
Right.
And then one of the other great things is that McKinsey did a study, Women in the World of Work, and it talks about this thing about the broken rung, where you see a lot of women will have a starting, and it's very balanced, men to women at the
To a
starting
certain
point.
level,
And
then the rung breaks.
And then absolutely when you get to it, I mean, here's a great, if you look at the split at entry level, 36% men, 16% men of color, 30% women, 18% women of color. And then when you get to the C-suite, at the very highest level, 68% white men,
There you go.
10% black men, 18% white women, 4% black men.
And therein lies the downfall of society.
Yeah, and it's and that they talk about the glass ceiling, but it's really that missing rung.
You don't
How
even
do
get to the glass
continue to
ceiling because
move?
the rung is missing for you to even
true.
try to break the
Exactly.
ceiling, right?
Right.
Well, you think about finance, Karen. Come on. Back in the 1950s, would you ever have seen a female bank manager?
No,
Never.
definitely not. No,
women
no.
in finance wasn't a thing until when? Really? Did you? You've been in the industry for a while. Have you seen changes as far as opportunities for women to advance?
Absolutely. There's tons of opportunities.
Has it changed though in the time that you've been with it, or do you think it was already sort of well on its way?
There's definitely been some changes in the right direction. There's always room for improvement.
Sure.
There's many more women in those executive leadership positions that we would want to be in now than there was 20 years ago. So
Sure.
there's definitely more opportunities. community, but I think in the finance industry as a whole, or in the workforce as a whole, that rung still exists.
Yeah.
And we still have to continue to, as women leaders, talk to those younger women and sort of help them through and give them some direction and pointers.
That's a great point, because actually the theme of our Women in Business this year is Embrace the Future. And we have 4 panelists, Carly Cray, Ashley Gerard, Monique Morrison, and Sandra Holmberg, are representing under 40, and we're just trying to bring that notion that this is our future, right?
I know the last 3 names you mentioned. Carly Cray, I'm not familiar with.
Yeah, Freedom 55.
Oh, okay.
She's also in the finance industry as well.
Fabulous. So what happens at this, I know that it's sold out, but tell me anyway, what sort of goes on at this breakfast?
So we have the 4 ladies that attend, and we do a panel. So I'll be moderating the panel this year, and we ask them a series of questions just to talk about their experiences as an entrepreneur, as a woman, as someone has a family, trying to balance everything.
Right.
We have how many women?
256.
256 women attending this year, which is great. It's always a packed house. And
where do you do this? Sorry.
At the Water Tower.
You mentioned that, Roy. Okay, good.
And then we also at the end of it give out the Athena Award.
So the award is being given out. Now, this year's nominees, how many nominees are there?
We had seven nominees this year.
What is the nomination process? How does that happen, Karen? Having been a nominee, does it take more than one person to nominate you, or?
It only takes one nomination to get your name in the running. Of course, if more than one person nominates you, that's possible.
Okay.
You have to accept as a nominee, because there is some work to do after you accept.
Okay.
So then you have to go, and as Roy had mentioned before, there's the 3 areas that you talk about yourself. You're kind of like promoting yourself around professional development, personal development, and community involvement. So you have to talk about those 3 areas and how you've excelled in your profession or personally, and how you've done those things. And when I went up and got the award last year, I talked about what an empowering experience it was to go through that process, because you forget all the things that you do. And so to go through that process was very uplifting and empowering for me to say, and self-appreciate. I think a lot of times, and I said, as women, we don't give ourselves enough credit for all the work that we do.
That's a really cool thing, that it becomes an exercise in self-esteem, really, almost, right?
It does.
So, can you just resubmit? I'd be the lazy guy who just added a paragraph at the end from the year before, because it's so much work. Did you have to completely rewrite your?
I didn't rewrite, but I did add to the.
You added to it because you had done more.
I had done more, yeah.
What are some of your passions when it comes to community and mentoring?
For sure, it's working with younger women in business, because there are so many, like the rung and the glass ceiling, and so many things that, especially when you're in an industry that's male dominated, to try and find your way through those things. Working with Aboriginal youth as well in business is a big passion of mine, to ensure that economic development continues to happen in our communities. And so I went to Trent University and got my degree in Native Studies, and I always felt like I have to give back to my community to make sure that, the time and energy that was spent in educating me to excel in this field, I'm passing that on to somebody else.
Fantastic.
As well. Yeah.
So how many do we have the number of nominees for this year's Athena Award?
So I think there's actually maybe about 12 or 13 individuals that were actually nominated, and 7 had submitted.
Okay.
I think the most significant year we had well over 11, if not 15, who actually submitted, which, it makes it extremely difficult, because we have a judging committee, and they obviously sign a non-disclosure agreement, confidentiality agreement.
Sure, they can't talk about what they've read.
Because we do want people to reveal, some fairly private things about how they approach their life and how they support the community and advance other women in their professional area. So, it is a very, very difficult choice, and we have a scoring mechanism, and it's a challenge.
Does the Chamber of Commerce select the judges from the community? Is that how that works, or does Athena?
Yes, what we try and do is we try to have, like Karen, our previous Athena Awards. Then we look to different areas that have very strong women that are aspirational, inspirational, and really try to push the envelope in terms of professionalism.
They get you coming and going, and you got to sell yourself, then you win the award, and then you have to read all the stuff for the other people too.
It's fun.
You know what? I bet it really is exciting though to see what other women have done, and that's got to be inspirational in itself.
It is, yeah.
Well, congratulations
Thank
again
you.
on last
Thank
year's
you.
win.
Thank
Best
you.
of luck, Rory.
Always great to see you, my friend.
So you should keep this in mind, folks, because this sounds like an amazing opportunity for women and men to attend. So
Absolutely.
if you can't get in this year, next year, put it on your calendar. For the Women in Business, is it a luncheon or breakfast?
Breakfast.
Women in Business Breakfast. It's an annual event.
Correct.
And the Athena Awards given out. So many great things going on.
And we do try to hold it every International Women's Days, which is always annually March the 8th.
March the 8th. There you go. Nice to meet you
Nice
again.
to
I
meet
mean,
you.
nice to see you
Yeah.
again. But thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
Rory,
Tim,
we'll
thank
see
you
you
very much.
again soon, I
Appreciate
hope,
it.
my friend.
You bet.
Okay, we'll be back with Luann after this on Mornings with Luann and Tim.
Hi, can I take your order? Hello?
Oh, hey. Wait, what was the question?
Let me guess. One driving high combo, extra baked?
No. Could I get a burger with a side of fries?
Think you're a better driver when you're high? Think again. If you smoked weed, wait at least 4 hours before getting behind the wheel, or don't drive at all if you're new to it, have eaten it, or if you've mixed it with alcohol.
This is On TV.
In your home, lighting is just as important as style.
With PowerView motorization from Hunter Douglas, you can schedule your shades to light up the room. Create privacy, or both, automatically. No hands required.
So your shades will always be in the right place at the right time in style. And it's only from Hunter Douglas.
Imagine knowing about incidents, closures, and roadwork all before starting your trip. Ontario 511 lets you know before you go. You can get real-time information directly from the Ministry of Transportation, because the more you know, the easier it is for you to go. And spend the time doing the things that matter most.
I was so sad to hear that James Lipton.
You couldn't remember if you were happy or sad.
Happy. Well, I know it's make you happy days.
But
so
this
I'm
is
trying-
sad.
Yeah. James Lipton passed away, 93 years
Now
old.
that surprised me.
Yeah.
How
I didn't
old was he when-
realize he looked awesome.
Was he still? So he was. I saw. What was it? PBS. What network
Yes,
was he on?
yeah.
And he used to interview. What was it called? that
Inside
show?
the Actors Studio.
Inside the Actors Studio.
He was so composed, but there was this little glint in his eye.
Yeah.
Anthony reminded me that he passed, so I
And
wanted
he
to make sure.
also. He was one of those people like. Who was the interviewer from Toronto City TV? Brian. Remember him? Brian with the funny pushed-in face. Brian. From CTV, and he'd always interview people on CTV, and they'd say, "How did you know that about me?" Because he did.
Brian?
Brian.
I don't know.
I gotta look it up. Anyway, but he was like that. James Lipton was like that too. He would
Yes.
have stories about people, and they'd say, "How did you know that about me?" And he would have all
And to
kinds
do
of
this
scoop.
interview in front of a live audience of actors or
Students,
potential
a lot of
actors,
students.
and he made people so comfortable. They talked about stuff that no one ever got before. So he was phenomenal at his job, and he died of bladder cancer. Unfortunately, yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that can't be good.
No, I used to love those interviews on Inside the Act because you would learn
Yes.
stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what they would have
right?
young and then there'd be questions from the audience too. Right? It was always interesting.
And it was interesting because the way he put the question was so not aggressive. You know what I mean? Like even if he felt like maybe the actor could have done a better job in a role, he would put the question in a way where the doctor or the actor wasn't defensive or anything. So he was very, very, very skilled at his job.
There was an interview that Gwyneth Paltrow did recently, and she had her assistant with her, a gentleman, I forget his name, but they were talking about how well you know each other. They were playing sort of a game, how well you know each other. And they asked the assistant, okay, what would Gwyneth say was her worst film? And it was the one with Jack Black. And
it's one word, I think.
Yeah, and he named it. It was a play on a word. He named it, and she went, "Yep." And he said, "Why did you do that film?" And she said, "Because you weren't around then to stop me."
Well, when you're starting out, you want to do, I would think, a lot of stuff.
You want to just take what comes your way, and then eventually you start saying
grateful.
no. But I wonder how Jack Black felt when Gwyneth Paltrow publicly says that it was the worst film she ever did, and she should never have said yes to it.
Burn. William Shatner, by the way, if anybody's watching Picard right now, William Shatner was asked, because of this new series, if he would ever consider a revival of Captain Kirk. And he said, no. His story is pretty well played out. He was Captain Kirk from 1966 to 1994.
How many times did Kirk die?
Right?
Because didn't Kirk die a couple of times and got brought back? I mean, even on the TV series, and that was only on TV.
I loved that TV series. I thought he was all that.
But wait a minute.
I thought he was so handsome.
Star Trek only on for like 2 years or something, and then it was just in reruns forever and ever and ever?
Yeah. But I loved the ones when he would run into a female alien, and then there was this romance thing going on. I loved those. Those
Remember the time when he kissed Lieutenant Uhura?
Yes.
First interracial kiss?
Yes. Wow.
He also is very vocal about the fact that you do not walk up to William Shatner in public and ask for an autograph.
Oh, is that right?
He said, that's just because I do this for a living, that doesn't give you the right to come up and talk to me and interfere my dinner, and he's very much against that. He doesn't.
Really?
Yeah, he's very vocal about it. He says, I don't owe you anything.
Wow. You know what?
Because
you do.
Well, I don't know. Does he? Because
of course he does. If it wasn't for those people paying to go see him, then he wouldn't be eating dinner at this fancy restaurant that he can't be bothered dealing with people at.
But are they not going to see him because he's a good actor who works with good writers and blah, blah, blah? Just because you like something doesn't mean, I mean, you know what I'm saying? You go to a restaurant, you buy dinner, do you expect that they're going to give you stuff for free or come to your house and drop food off just because you like their food?
No, but I think when somebody says to me, gee, you know what, I saw that interview and I thought you did a really good job, it makes me feel good.
That's nice, but that you're not saying sign my
I would never do that unless it was a body part
and stuff. I don't know.
If it was a body part, then I might sign it. But
anyway, I just think that to each his own. And if people say I'll never watch, and people have done that. That's I'll never watch anything he does again. He's like,
I'm sorry, I think it's rude. You know what? You picked this profession, and this is part of your profession, and you're at an age now where you're very successful. You don't have to worry about a darn thing in your whole life. You can sign a piece of flipping paper.
If you ever see Luann out at the grocery store, the gas station, the restaurant, anywhere, just feel free to walk up to her and tell her how wonderful she is, and she will sign anything but your left breast.
That's right. Yeah. The right one's okay, not the left, though.
All right.
I stopped doing left.
You know why? Because when you do the left breast, your hand smears the ink.
And then you have it all over.
Yeah, the right breast is fine.
Yeah.
Oh, that's your left breast.
Yeah, that's my left breast.
See, this is why I don't know stage left.
Talking about boobs,
time
you don't know anything about them.
I do, so I know how to strap them on.
Yes,
the news is next with our friend Luann, who loves to see you out in public. We'll be right back after this.
Recently, the Government of Ontario established a $100 million affordability fund to help Ontarians who don't qualify for low-income conservation programs ease the burden of their electricity bill. Whether you rent or own your home, as long as you pay your electric bill, you could qualify. There are 3 levels of support available. The first is a home energy kit with upgrades like smart power bars and LED light bulbs. The second includes Energy Star appliances that help keep things cool during the hot summer months. The third is for electrically heated homes so that your power bills don't break the bank during those long Canadian winters. Plus, all upgrades including installation are completely free of charge. Visit affordabilityfund.org or call 1-855-494-FUND to find out if you qualify.
the Outstanding Business Achievement Awards hosted by the Sault Ste. Marie Chamber of Commerce, OLG's Director of Municipal and Community Relations, Jake Pastor, presented a check to the city in the amount of $1,493,571, and that represents proceeds from Gateway Casino Sault Ste. Marie for the 2018-19 fiscal year. To date, the city has received over $29 million in slot revenue for hosting the casino, which opened in 1999. Profits for the 2018-19 fiscal year have been reinvested in the community, including assisting with asset management projects for a number of municipal facilities. E-Trax Tire Management Systems, a not-for-profit producer responsibility organization, has partnered with Algoma Steel to remove and recycle 850 tons of end-of-life tires in an effort to promote a more circular economy. Established to help the tire industry meet new recovery and recycling regulations that rolled out in Ontario last year, E-Trax is managing and partly funding this project, which began in September 2019 at the steel plant. The organization is collaborating with local haulers from across Northern Ontario to remove decades-old tires and bring them to recycling facilities capable of handling the intake. The vast majority of these tires, with a combined weight equivalent of 7 adult blue whales, will be recycled into new products and will be used in a variety of ways, such as turf for synthetic grass on sports fields, playground safety pads, sports arena mats, comfort flooring, livestock, rubberized asphalt, and padding in safety helmets. Currently, over half of the tires at Algoma Steel have been removed, with the balance slated for removal by June. Ontario has signed agreements with 2 Indigenous communities in a move the government says is a step forward in its plan to build road access to the Ring of Fire region. Premier Doug Ford announced the new deals with the Martin Falls First Nation and Webequie First Nation at a mining conference in Toronto yesterday. The previous Liberal government had signed deals with 3 of the 9 communities surrounding the Ring of Fire, including Martin Falls and Webequie, but in August, the Ford government ripped up those deals in favor of pursuing new individual agreements with the 9 First Nations. NDP Northern Development critic Michael Mantha says ripping up those deals was a step backwards that has further delayed the project. The region in Northern Ontario holds some of the world's richest deposits of chromite, nickel, copper, and platinum, valued at anywhere from $30 billion to $60 billion.
We're now up to 18 with 15 active cases. Our 3 resolved, of course. One is a female in the late 60s with a travel history to Egypt, and we came back on the 20th and was seen at Mackenzie Health on 29th.
Ontario reported 3 new cases of the novel coronavirus yesterday, bringing the total now in the province to 18, though officials say the virus is not spreading locally. A spate of new cases has been reported over the past few days, all of them people who had recently traveled to Iran or Egypt, or family members of those who had visited the countries.
And I think what you've seen in that time is that when we expanded out to our wider number of countries, someone asked me, what was I expecting an increase? I was predicting we'd see about 20 to 30. So to see these numbers is, for me, is oddly enough, is reassuring. It tells me that the system is working, people are coming forward, people are being seen, and people are being assessed in that way, and that's the crux of our whole way.
But we all know, you all know, that's where we need to go. In the coming year, we want to hear from you on how Canada should innovate and transform our economy to keep good jobs here and create new ones.
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau called for input yesterday on a plan for Canada to become carbon neutral by 2050. Speaking at a major mining conference in Toronto, he said a plan for climate was needed as part of efforts to find common ground on business and the environment.
Of course, we need to protect the environment at the same time as we create good jobs. Of course, we can only create a better, stronger economy for everyone if we are fighting climate change at the same time. We know that. Canadians know that. We just haven't reached that point of consensus where we argue about the best way to do it. There's still pockets of this country and the political debate arguing about whether or not to protect the environment. But as we saw from the free trade debate, that can flip fairly quickly.
A message from the Government of Canada.
Somebody that I absolutely love listening to, and him, and also she seems like she is such a down-to-earth person. Carrie Underwood.
I love Carrie Underwood with her own self.
She can sing. I'm just saying. Women's Health magazine, she's on the cover, and she talks about how there was a time in her life after she won American Idol where she was told that she looked a little bit heavy.
Carrie Underwood?
Right? And she showed the picture of herself online that the person was referring to. That person should be
tortured.
Somebody should do something to his baby toe.
It was a guy. It must have been a man. It had to have been a man.
So she went on an 800 calorie per day diet.
That's not even breakfast for me.
That's right. It's just like, that's a cup of coffee. I mean, seriously. So now she talks about everything in the article from her miscarriages, and she says, you know what,
she
said it's something that she thinks is important to talk about because of the health aspect of it, but also it's not taboo. Lots of women, unfortunately, have had miscarriages. So she
Is it
wants
true that
to
people have
encourage
miscarried before they even know that they're pregnant?
Sometimes, yeah. Yeah, sometimes you can be very early pregnancy, but sometimes it's even more difficult if you've gone along a little bit.
Oh, can you imagine? Because you're emotionally invested. I'm guessing the moment you find out that you're pregnant.
Oh, there's a little bubble in there, and it's going to turn into a human being.
And if you're wanting a child, you have an immediate emotional attachment to that
Absolutely.
The whole concept of it,
So
right?
she talked about how difficult that was and how thrilled she was to get pregnant again.
Mm-hmm.
She also talks about her current regime. She works out like a beast. And she says, if I'm able to exercise 7 days a week, I do it because there are some weeks where I don't have the opportunity to. Being a busy mom, she's working 3 jobs and she's just so busy. So she loves rules, she said. She loves if somebody at the gym says to her, okay, if you're going to do this, you need to do 15 reps of that. She loves that. She's and she's beautiful.
Well,
so
again,
she's really enjoying, and she said her big fault, her crutch is red wine. God, I love her.
Hey, I got a question.
Yes.
I know people who've adopted.
Yes.
I can't imagine. So let's talk about not being. You find out perhaps you've miscarried. You continue to miscarry. Maybe there's a chance that you're not going to be able to have a child. I know people who've adopted, and I don't believe there's any different. They don't love that child any less than as if they'd given birth to it.
No, it's phenomenal.
I think that's a whole thing about the taboo thing about not being able to have a child too.
Right.
There should be no shame in your body not being able to produce a child, for heaven's sakes,
it's
right?
It's not a choice. It's not something that you decided on for yourself.
Right.
And even if you did, good for you. You know what? I know people who have said, oh, I'm never going to have a child. Don't. Because if you feel that way, then you shouldn't. Right? He's still a child. For
yeah, that's so true.
Who's coming up next?
More children. Willy Wonka.
Yahoo!
Anthony Accetti is the director, and Silas is here, who plays Willy Wonka, and Jaden, who plays I don't know the little boy's name in the show, but anyway, we got the 2 leads.
Charlie Bucket.
Charlie Bucket is here. So Willy Wonka coming up next on Mornings with Luann and Tim. Yay! And they're not dipped in chocolate.
Oh.
Angelo, it's me, Vito. Imbecile, your brother. Listen, you bring 10 gallons of flat eggshell or white paint.
Recently, the Government of Ontario established a $100 million affordability fund to help Ontarians who don't qualify for low-income conservation programs ease the burden of their electricity bill. Whether you rent or own your home, as long as you pay your electric bill, you could qualify. There are 3 levels of support available. The first is a home energy kit with upgrades like smart power bars and LED light bulbs. The second includes Energy Star appliances that help keep things cool during the hot summer months. The third is for electrically heated homes so that your power bills don't break the bank during those long Canadian winters. Plus, all upgrades, including installation, are completely free of charge. Visit affordabilityfund.org or call 1-855-494-FUND to find out if you qualify.
If you're struggling with thoughts of suicide, there is hope and there is help. You matter. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The calls are free and confidential. Call 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-8255. You are not alone.
Hi! Welcome back to Mornings with Luann and Tim. I was watching saying, wait, I didn't see you in the video. With Jaden, were you in that video? It was done when you were...
No, it was done at...
It was grown-up lunch. Jaden, now what's your last name?
Skornianki.
Jaden Skornianki, and you play Charlie Bucket, one of the lead roles.
Yeah.
Is this your first lead role? You've done several shows. Is this your first lead?
I did Matilda. I was Bruce Bogtrotter, the one who eats the giant chocolate cake.
Okay, right.
But this one is probably my...
What about the Wizard of Oz? You said you did that one too, right?
Yeah, I was just part of the ensemble.
You don't say just part of the ensemble. I was part of the ensemble, right? Silas, what about you? What's your experience like in theater?
Well, I did Mamma Mia for Superior Heights last year. And I played Pepper.
Oh, yes.
Obviously the best character.
The flirtatious one. Yep. You're always hitting on the rich woman. Yes. Okay.
And then I did Matilda, where I was called in. Yes.
Yeah. Sioux Theater Workshop co-production with Shot in the Dark.
Yeah. So I was called into ensemble, but then Che just liked me so much that I became Michael.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mr. Ricchetti, do you know how many shows you've directed? Have you ever kept track?
Oh my God, it's like rings in a tree.
I know.
Yeah.
So what brought you to Willy Wonka, Mr. Ricchetti? Can I call you Anthony?
You can.
Okay,
I'll
Anthony.
take it.
What drew you to Willy Wonka?
I love the movie. I love the story. The music's catchy. The music's fun. Everybody knows it.
What's your favorite song?
It's Roald Dahl year.
I like Think Positive. I think it has...
Is that your song?
Yeah.
Excellent. Good for you. Your favorite song?
Okay, my favorite song is In This Room Here. It's one of the first songs in Act 2.
All right. And Mr. Ricchetti, Anthony, what are some of the most famous songs in the show?
The Oompa Loompa song. Everyone knows the Oompa Loompas. Yep. And we get to hear it 5 whole times.
Do we?
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
A couple other ones?
Pure Imagination. That's a classic. Candyman is another really good one.
That one.
Yeah,
Candyman.
love that one. It was written for the Gene Wilder movie, actually. We were talking about that. Sammy Davis Jr. did that cover.
Yeah, he covered it.
Really
It was
well
written
known.
for the film.
It was.
So a lot of the songs from the film, are they incorporated into the stage musical
Yes,
version?
they are. Yeah.
This is a world premiere in Sault Ste. Marie.
It is. First time here in the town.
Never done here. Another great reason to do. I love when we do new shows here, never seen. Okay, so were there shows written specifically for the musical that were not in the film?
Yeah, there are. There's quite a few. One of them, Jaden loves, Think Positive.
Yeah.
And this was an older production that they wrote a lot of songs for, and just recently they did a brand new version of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory on Broadway with a whole new set of songs. And that's also a really good musical to check out.
But that's not Willy Wonka.
No.
This is Willy Wonka. So did you audition for the role of Willy specifically when you came up for this?
Yeah, as soon as I heard that the auditions were there, we were finishing up Matilda at the time. I went right to Chetty. I'm like, I'm auditioning for Willy Wonka.
I said, okay, I'm drinking my coffee, but I'll take it.
We're looking at some of the B-roll of the set construction. Now, Anthony, is this a former performer that is now building sets for you?
Austin Simon is a
Look at that boat. I love that boat.
Yeah, the chair really makes it, I think. Yeah.
So Austin Simon.
He played Gaston in Our Beauty and the Beast years ago. There he is.
That's him.
Working
That's
hard.
Austin.
Yeah, and he's brilliant, and he designs everything, and he comes in and he works super hard, and he's one of the heroes of our theater community.
And this is all student driven, right, Mr.
It is,
Teddy?
yeah.
So painting is done by students?
Oh, yeah. Teachers have chipped in a little bit, but we try and put the students first at everything we do.
Have there been challenges with what's going on right now with striking and stuff? You've obviously managed to pull this off, but I'm guessing that when you've got teachers who want to volunteer, but they really can't.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing was the uncertainty, not knowing what the future holds.
Right.
But you know what? That's with anything. So we just said, let's put our heads down and do some great work, and we'll see what happens.
When are we going to see this show?
March 4th to the 7th.
Ooh, that's
Wednesday.
That's Wednesday.
Wait a minute, you guys open like tomorrow.
I know, we should be rehearsing.
Holy my smokes, there's your poster right there.
Hey.
Silas, where do we get tickets for the show?
You can get them at the box office in the Station Mall.
So the Station Mall box office.
Or right at the door.
At the door, you'll be having, and that's a large theater.
It is, yeah.
You're performing at the Sioux Community Theater Center.
We sure are. General seating, $24 for adults and $9 for children.
General seating, so it's first come, first serve. When you get there, you choose whatever seat you want to sit in. So I'm sure there'll be lots of tickets available at the door because it's 987 seats.
Yeah, it's huge.
But if you want to buy your tickets in advance, it's saultctc.ca online. SAULTCTC.ca. You can go right there, the comfort of your own home, use a credit card, whatever, and buy a ticket. Okay, for this role, what is the thing you have loved most about playing Willy Wonka?
Okay, what I love most, I think one thing I just love about Willy Wonka as a character is he's just kind of he's so sarcastic and it's just so much fun.
Yes.
How he is like that.
His sense of humor. You enjoy his sense of humor?
I do feel like, maybe not exactly, but he's a lot like me in a lot of ways too.
Right.
Because like I love like his little things like, oh, we have much C to more. Wait, stop, reverse that, like stuff like that.
All right.
I love just like all those little things.
It's kind of silly, the silliness of it too, right? What about you playing Charlie? Are there things about Charlie that you really enjoy playing, that aspect of him?
He's a poor kid and he really wants to make the best of his life.
So he's really positive? Mm-hmm. Well, that's kind of like the song you talked about, right?
Yeah, he tries to cheer up his dad.
Oh, he's a great kid. What about challenges? Mr. Ricchetti, were there any challenges for you in putting the show together?
Never. Doing musical theater is easy.
How many in your cast?
37 actors.
That's a challenge.
There's a challenge, yeah.
Well, scheduling alone.
Yeah, it's putting everyone's lives together, say, let's all meet and rehearse. That takes a lot, for sure.
Silas, when do you rehearse? During and after school?
Yeah, usually after school, sometimes during lunch. That's majority of the time, yeah.
Wow. What about this commitment? Do you find it difficult at all balancing schoolwork, and I know you play guitar as well, all the outside stuff you might do in your life? Is it difficult to balance all that as a kid?
Yeah, because I go to a different school than them, and we end at 4, so I have to leave school an hour
That's why
early.
you weren't there for the video when we did it at lunch that day.
Yeah, I don't go to their school. So.
That is a challenge, right?
Yeah.
What about for you? What grade are you in?
I'm grade 12.
Okay, that's a pretty important year.
Yeah.
How are you finding it balancing rehearsals, performances, and maintaining your grades?
Most of the time, I think most of my focus has been going to the play, honestly. But
I'm sure your parents will be happy to hear that.
Oh, obviously.
Do you manage to keep your grades up though? You do okay at school?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm not like falling behind or anything. Especially,
Good for you.
Yeah, since it's the new semester started, it's becoming a lot. It's pretty easy at the start. So.
That's true. That is sort of true because by the time the show comes along, when you're investing probably the most hours, it is a brand new semester, so you've got time to catch up if you fall a little bit behind.
Exactly.
You've got a couple of months to catch up. Great. Does any of this count as community service hours when you're in school or no?
It can. This is a course for the high school students.
You
so
actually
they get
run this as a course?
We do.
How does it work for somebody who's...
Someone like Jaden would get volunteer hours.
Okay.
And some of the children choose course or volunteer hours when they're in high school.
So is this a course for you?
Yes.
So the training counts?
This is a curriculum moment right here.
This is
promotion and marketing.
You're learning about promotion and marketing.
Yeah.
And also, you have to music, you're studying, memorization skills, all that stuff, right? What about choreography? How's that been going? Who's choreographing the show, Mr.
A little bit of everyone. It's not a heavy dance show. There's no big tap solos in it.
No, thank goodness. So how's that been going? Have you danced before? Is it difficult for you to learn that kind of stuff?
I mean, I haven't danced a whole lot besides like Mamma Mia and Matilda kind of things.
Okay.
So the dancing there wasn't like super intense or anything.
Right. What about Charlie? Does Charlie dance much or just sort of move around?
He moves around.
Yeah.
He sings.
You want to keep doing shows?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. What about for you, Silas? Do you see this as a potential career? Would you continue to study after post-secondary?
100%. Like
no kidding.
The career goal is to become like actor.
Do you have ideas of where you might want to study when you leave after you finish Superior Heights?
Well, there was a few schools in like I know there was a school in Quebec that's I think it's like the best acting school.
National Theatre School.
Yeah, it's
in
the best.
Montreal.
It's the best school in.
It's probably one of the best acting programs in Canada. University of Alberta has a great program. Musical theatre at Sheridan. George Brown has a great program. Ryerson. They're all. I'm sure that Mr. Ricchetti and your counselors. What are they called now?
Guidance. Yeah.
Guidance counselors. When I went to school ages ago, and I asked about theatre programs in 1980, people didn't know about them in Sault Ste. Marie. They didn't know what to suggest. Things have changed so much, haven't they, Anthony?
Yeah, the internet helps quite a bit.
Truly. But also, even in Sault Ste. Marie, the arts have gained so much support from the community, and that's what we're looking to you for. Support the kids. They've been working hard. They want to show you what they've done. Go and see Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory at the Sault Community Theatre Centre. Grand opening is tomorrow night, opening night. Break legs, everyone. You run through until when, Mr. Ricchetti?
Until Saturday night.
Till Saturday night. All the best to you. Thanks for coming in. Now go to school. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with Luann right after this on Mornings with Luann and Tim. Quick. Just take that off the side of the bottle. Put it on the table for now. And I thank you very much for giving us.
It's hunting season, so this is probably pretty stupid, right? Actually, hunting accidents kill somewhere around 2 people a year in Ontario. Smoking kills 16,000 a year. So, what's really stupid?
tomorrow's show, Stitches from the Heart Quilt Guild will be here.
I love quilts.
And Melissa Agawa is going to join us to talk about the gathering at the Rapids Powwow that's coming up. How about that?
Oh boy, and what a great show today. You did so good.
Thank you very much. So did you.
Well, thanks. I try.
Tomorrow's
Just want to make you happy.
You're going to come back. Are you going to come back for Wellness Wednesday?
Oh, yeah. I can't miss Wellness Wednesday. It would ruin my whole week.
See?
So hope you come back for Wellness Wednesday. Thanks so much to KC Security for sponsoring the show, dealing with us every single morning. We appreciate it. And thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow on Mornings with Luann and Tim right here on ONNtv and SaultOnline.com.